What's up YouTube? I'm Melanie Morrison, personal trainer and nutritionist, and you saw the thumbnail, healthy eating. If you're someone who's trying to lose weight, gain strength, or you have a particular health condition, this is a big part of your goal, and it's something that most of us do struggle with. A simple checklist that I kind of like to go by is having 3 well-rounded meals, adding in some extra fiber, having some beneficial bacteria like sauerkraut or kefir, and drinking 8 to 10 glasses of water a day. And that makes it sound a lot easier than it actually is, because healthy eating can be expensive and time consuming, whereas fast food is more readily available, and let's be honest, some of it's pretty tasty. That being said, healthy eating really affects the quality of your everyday life and your overall health, so it is really important to maintain good health through healthy eating. So let's kick it off with the first one, and that is knowing what foods you like to eat and turning them into healthier options. So for example, if you're someone who really likes fried chicken, maybe go with baked chicken. If you're someone who likes potatoes, maybe go with sweet potato instead of a white potato. If you're someone who really likes broccoli, make a stir fry instead of it covered in cheese. So there's healthier options with those whole foods, and that's where you really want to start. I really like to encourage this with a lot of clients because you're more likely to stick with it if you're eating familiar foods. If you're constantly trying to try new foods and really branching out and it's not familiar, then you're less likely to stick with it. If you're someone who's used to eating meat 3 times a week and all of a sudden you're trying a bunch of vegan meals, you're probably gonna go back to eating more burgers than you were before you started. And if changing all your meals throughout your day seems overwhelming to you, then maybe just start with 1 meal at a time. So something like changing up your breakfast throughout the week until you have that down packed into your routine, and then moving on to your lunch and then eventually your dinner will help you really keep it a part of your routine. The next one on the list is how you cook your foods really matter as well. There's obviously different nutritional value in food, so it's important to really get the best of that. And how you cook it really makes a difference whether you're getting that nutritional value or you're not. So certain vegetables like kale or cauliflower or cabbage are pretty hard on the digestive system. So they're better off steaming your kale or sauteing your cabbage or steaming your cauliflower or even roasting your cauliflower to get the nutritional value that you really want from it, and it's not hard on your digestive system or taking forever to digest. And remember, if it's hard on your digestive system, that's gonna slow everything down, including your metabolism. So you're gonna have a slow burning fuel and you won't really be able to consume as many nutrients as you really need to. And things like fats have certain temperature ranges that they can cook within. So if they're cooked too high, that actually can turn them into rancid oils. So that's eliminating all that good healthy fat that we're looking for when we have those oils, and that's not going to give us the nourishment that we need for our skin, our body, and our cells that we are trying to get from those oils. So a good way to kind of look at it is things that are more coarser will be harder on the digestive system. So as mentioned, things like kale is pretty hard on the digestive system, so it's better sauteed. Or things like spinach is better in like a soup or something where it's sauteed or just like lightly steamed. Or things like nuts and seeds, they're better off not roasted or cooked, because again, that's gonna eliminate all those good beneficial fats we're trying to get. So having just a handful of pumpkin seeds or raw pumpkin seeds is gonna give you all the nourishment that you need, and you don't need to do anything to it. So next one on the list is adding a grocery list. So this is so important for that foundation and really starting your week off with good food, because if you have that grocery list ready, those are your options in your fridge and your cupboards, and you're less likely to go for the Big Mac or the Krispy Kreme. And I'm a big fan of those app lists, so that when you do run out of things, you add them to your app on your phone, and then when you get to the grocery store, your list is already made for you and no extra work is needed. And there are obviously those odd weeks where you do forget things here and there and you're making more trips to the grocery store than you actually want to, and it seems like you like going to the grocery store, but you really don't like going at all. But for the most part, it is extremely helpful and has been a game changer for me in my grocery list. And it cuts out a lot of steps, makes it a lot easier for me to have all those healthy, nourishing foods in the house. When it comes to meal prep, most of us don't have an entire Sunday to give up, or don't want to give up an entire Sunday preparing and cooking food. So my suggestion to you is just to wash your vegetables and have them organized in your fridge. So that cuts out a lot of the prep time when you're cooking throughout the week. Another helpful tool that I really like to do is, instead of taking an entire day to cook 1 pot of something that you're gonna eat for the entire week, is to take 2 hours out of your week and cook 4 or 5 different dishes that you can mix and match throughout the week, giving you a variety of options and giving you a variety of nutrition. So let me walk you through some of the dishes that I make on the regular, and hopefully it's something you can add into your meals at home. So we're going to cook a rainbow trout, and we have 1 large piece of rainbow trout, half of a lemon, 2 cloves of garlic, salt. Can you show where the salt is?
Salt.
And pepper. Salt and pepper to taste, and 1 shallot onion. Can you show the onion? First, you're gonna drizzle in some olive oil just to coat the bottom of the pan. Then you'll add the onion and saute for about a minute or two. Then you're gonna add in your piece of trout. Then you're gonna add in your garlic. Squeeze half a lemon. And then you'll add your salt and pepper to taste. So there's our rainbow trout. I cooked it on a low to medium temperature for about 15 minutes, 10 minutes on the bottom and 5 minutes on the top. You can quarter this or cut it into 3 pieces and have it for 3 or 4 dishes. So for this next one, we're gonna make a roasted Brussels sprout dish. You have 2 cups of roasted Brussels sprout, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, and a couple sprigs of thyme. And you're just gonna mix them all together and roast them at 350 for about 25 to 30 minutes. So there you have the Brussels sprout dish. Didn't take very long to make at all, and you can obviously adjust the portions to how much you want. You can also add organic bacon to this if you want it to be a little bit more filling. And last but not least, these are different ways that you can do sweet potato and you can prepare ahead of time. So we have sweet potato fries here cut this way, and we have sweet potato rounds, so you can do sliders or little mini tempeh burgers. Or we have sweet potato toast cut lengthwise, about 1/4 inch to 1 inch thick, depending on how thick you would like it. You can mix any of these or even just wipe some olive oil on it. The sweet potato fries I like to do with a little bit of olive oil and coconut oil, and then put in some garlic in there. And that's something you can easily just toss into a salad or have as a side. The sweet potato toast, just brushing a little bit of olive oil on it is super helpful to kind of cook and have a little bit of extra flavor to it. And the rounds are really easy too. You can add, again, whatever oil you use with your cooking and just wipe oil each side, and both of them, or actually all 3 of them, you cook for about 20 to 30 minutes depending on how tender you want it or how firm you would like it. So there you have it. I hope you enjoy those meals, and I hope it's something you can add into your regular routine. If you have any questions, please feel to contact me at hungryelephant on Instagram or melanie.morrisonpt@gmail.com. Next on the list is adding colorful foods versus calorie counting. So this may be a hard one for a lot of people to change their mindset on, because calorie counting has been such a big thing in the fitness nutrition industry. A lot of people really rely on it. But realistically, if you're calorie counting, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting the proper nourishment or nutrients that you really do need to help you lose weight or gain the strength that you want, or whatever your fitness nutrition goals are. So I'll give you a good example of that, and that is rice crackers. Rice crackers were such a big buzz 5 or 10 years ago. Everyone made such a big deal about them because they were so low in calories, so light, so versatile. But realistically, rice crackers don't have much nutritional value to them. If they're cutting out the fat, the protein, the carbs, which will have all the calories in it, so there's not much nutritional value in them. So that can put a lot of stress on your immune system, your gut, your metabolism, and really how you digest food. So overall, that's creating more inflammation and more work for your systems to actually do. So in the long run, even though you're not getting the calories right in that moment, in the long run, it really affects your overall health and how you digest food. I like to talk about color therapy a lot just because it's easy to do. Basically, you're just looking at different colors and getting a good variety of nutrients through those colors. So you're eating things like carrots, which are really rich in color. You're eating things like spinach, which is really rich in color. And you're getting a variety of foods by choosing different color options. And making your own dressings can really add in some color therapy, because a lot of dressings off the shelf really have no nutritional value for you. So by making your own dressing, you're adding in a lot of nutrients and a lot of things that will really help to boost your metabolism. And if you're going for something with a creamy texture, you could do something like half an avocado with a tablespoon of lemon, a little bit of mayo, and salt and pepper to taste, and you have a nice thick creamy texture there for you. So let's get into the last one, and that is affordability. Healthy eating can be pretty expensive, so some ways that you can really cut down those costs are by buying food in season. Buying vegetables in season is a huge deal because it literally can cut the prices in half. And on top of that, if you're buying food by the season, then you're gonna get a wider variety of nutrition because you're not eating the same thing all the time. Another thing you can do is really consider the foods that you can keep in the freezer. So things like meats are okay in the freezer because they don't really affect the nutritional value, whereas spinach and fresh vegetables will affect the nutritional value if you're putting it in the freezer all the time. And speaking of meat, organic meats can be very expensive, so maybe substituting other plant sources of protein like chickpeas or tempeh to introduce that into your meals to really cut the cost of meat, because it can get pretty pricey. And the last thing that I'll leave for affordability is not letting food go to waste. Most of us do throw out a lot of food at the end of the week. So with all that food left over, try to make a stir fry, try to make a soup, try to make an omelet with all those random foods that are left over, so that you're creating another meal and you're really saving money from that. So there you have it. Those are my tips to help you start eating healthy. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at Hungry Hungry Elephant on Instagram or melanie.morrisonpt@gmail.com. Happy to answer any of your questions. And just remember that checklist that we started with at the beginning. Try to have 3 well-rounded meals a day, add in some extra fiber, making sure that you're getting 8 to 10 glasses of water per day, and adding some type of beneficial bacteria like kefir or sauerkraut. Please feel free to leave a comment below, like and subscribe if you want more content. And again, my name is Melanie Morrison.